let everyone.
Oh, wow. Hold on. Quality, switch it to 1080.
Yeah. All right. So,
Full screen. Okay, if it's on full screen, it's really good, and I can see it. So, yeah.
beautiful. Okay. Yeah, I thought it was looking okay. So,
I think it's because I had it minimized.
that is very possible. Yeah. So, here we go. Just setting up ground one more thing. Beautiful.
Figure just give it a few minutes for people to join,
Yeah.
and then we'll get started.
I'm actually like unreasonably excited about this, I have to say.
Okay, cool.
Because I want I really want some good pods out of this. I am like unreasonably excited. We got a couple people here. Let's see. Let's
Okay.
give everyone though a couple of minutes to join up, so they can all
I'm
see.
posting it on the other Korean chats,
Okay.
so
Hey
they
Eric.
may not be in our main chat.
Hendo. I think that's Eric. Pretty sure that's Eric.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm just gonna. Yay! I got it right. It is Eric. If you have any questions during the stream, just send them over to me. And I can. Sonic Temple Monk. Hi, welcome. Who? Fuck me up, fam. Who is it? Hey D, good to see you. Oh, hey John. Yeah, this. You will not enjoy this, but it may be over quickly. We'll see. Yeah, we're just giving everyone a few minutes because I know there was a
3,
couple of people
4,
who
5.
wanted to see what was going to happen here. So we're going to do our best to do the draws, explain how things are going to work. But then we're going to go through and talk about some of the pods. For instance, what we have lovingly named the Thunderdome over here, which is like 10
AKA.
people.
I'm the lead commissioner. I get to name the pods, but this is the nickname.
Yes, I was going to say, you got to name it. The Thunderdome. Yes,
It is the biggest pod with subpods.
The Dusty Harem was turned down for pod number 5. You'll understand when we get there. But the Dusty Harem was turned down as a name.
I may put that up as, and maybe I'll think about maybe renaming the pods as a pseudo win condition, but
Ooh,
we'll
that
see.
might be good. If you win your pod, you get to decide what the name is. I like that. That'd be pretty fun. 2 custodians, a Tau, and a Grey Knight. Wait till you see Pyeongtaek. Wait till you see the poor guy at Pyeongtaek. Oh man, that one is rough.
Let's see.
The warp isn't even that bad. That one, that's the warp. That's the warp pod. That one is what I'm calling the harem. Oh, yeah. I forget every time I like scroll over something, my screen goes away. I need to get these separate. Anyways, I think we're pretty good on. Yeah. Okay, we got a lot of people here. We got 14 people here, so we can get started. You want to?
Okay, sounds cool.
So let's raffle up the first. I know, Remy. I know we're beautiful. Just these 2 beautiful bearded men looking at each other.
I'm not looking at you, Nick. I'm looking at all the logistics that I have to do for this.
Oh, Illyrium, thank you for following. Welcome. All right, let's get this show started.
Okay, so hi, welcome everybody. If you don't know me, my name is Justin Carbunco. I'm the lead commissioner and one of the 40K players in the 40K chat. I think I know most of you. I don't actually get to see the chat right now because I'm only working off of one monitor, so the majority of my monitor is taken up by the G docs. So if you haven't played in the league before, what happens is since we have a bunch of different pods and we want to randomize, the way that I randomize it so that's pretty transparent is I run the randomization tool from the G documentation on the list of names 3 times. So it's pretty good randomization. And then after the third one, that's set. Special case for pod 1, since there are more players, you guys have 2 sub pods. If you take a look at the names, the ranked from, or not ranked, but listed from Christoph all the way to Michael Perry, what I will be doing is I have a small set list right below this. I will randomize this, and then from the top to the bottom after the 3 randomizations, you'll be listed in pod 1 will be the first 6 players, and then sub pod 2 will be the next 5 players in that order. In pods 2, 3, 4, and 5, since there are less than 10 players in each pod, it's just going to be 3 randomizations, and then that's it. Unfortunately, for pod 3 and pod 5, it's not going to be as exciting because there's exactly 5. So you're pretty much playing everybody at least once. So, say la vie.
Yeah, I know it's. I've tried zooming in a little bit, Remy, but it is currently at it is currently sitting at 200%. I'll try to get it a little bigger, but that's kind of like as big as I was able to get it. We're sitting at 200%. Let me see if
he can put it at full screen mode, because that's what I did when I ran my Twitch instead of like theater mode or whatever. If you ran full screen mode, it should make it a lot more clear. At least that's what I did. And then also change the FPS rating to or not the FPS, to 1080p if you can.
Let's try doing 300. Can I do that? No, it caps out at 200.
Okay.
Oh, hey Anthony. No Baslanesh demands it. I'm sorry, dude. I tried it, and his wife said no. She's like, no, I don't want Nick taking you away from me. He's too beautiful. Remy's like, my phone's big, but not that huge. Remy, I think you might just be blind, buddy. I can't unfortunately go any bigger.
Yeah. For the phones and stuff like that too, if you can't see it, what Nick and I will do is, since we got a pretty good eye view, we will do the randomization, and then we'll go through the list of names one by one. And then, obviously, if you stay for the commentary in terms of what we think of the pods, we'll be going over some of the matchups and things like that too. So, so you should have a good feel. If you want to, you can also. Everybody should have access to the GDoc as a read only, so you should be able to see the list afterwards as well.
Yeah, fair enough. So,
okay.
Not old, just experienced. The link. Yeah, let me actually. I'm gonna grab it straight off here. Just gonna rip it here and. You're
gonna post it in the chat?
I'm just gonna put it straight in the chat. So for anyone that wants to follow along, there you go. It's in the chat. Go ahead and join us. Oh, this has just turned into everyone roasting Remy. I'm sorry. All right. Yeah, so let's get the first pod underway. We'll just I think we're just going to randomize the 5 pods and then come back and talk about each one.
Okay. So, first randomization. So, again, if you're taking a look, I'm choosing the ones lines 29 through 39.
They are seeing my screen, but yeah, so he's grabbing these lines here.
Okay. Oh, no, it's the one below it. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, first randomization. There's 1, 2.
Anthony just asked, why is his name missing?
He didn't sign up.
Anthony, did you forget to sign up?
There was no form filled out for Anthony.
I did. I was the first, is what he's saying.
No, he's not. Hold on.
Can you just throw him in, I guess?
Give me a sec. Anthony, you're screwing up my Excel sheets right now.
Come on, man. You're messing with the Excel god. How dare thee?
Okay, give me a sec.
And we didn't see.
I am going to double check my G-Docs in my side. You can't see this because you're looking off of Nick's stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say because whenever you just randomized the first time, it did nothing to my screen.
Okay, so
He's playing
yeah,
T-Sons.
according.
Can you just chuck him in? He's playing T-Sons.
Fine.
Oh, hey Adam. Glad you subscribed, even though you are one of the people that regularly posts on here or regularly streams on here. Welcome. I don't know why. I don't know if you guys can see the followers, but I can.
Okay, give me 1 sec.
I know this is not the good stream. Our good stream was last night. I'm sorry. I suck.
Yeah. Just give me a sec.
According to Remy, this is all just heresy, anyways.
Yeah. Shall paste formulas. Okay, so we got 2 pods of 6 now. In terms of.
Adam forgot to join the league, but I don't. Do you even have like a pod out in what is it, Jinju?
Whoa.
Can you even play?
What
anymore?
happened?
Adam's out here saying that he now forgot to sign up.
I was posting all of this in the 40K chat.
Daegu Busan. I don't think we have a pod for him because we don't have enough players.
No, there's a couple of people that play off of Busan, but
yeah, we don't have a pod for that yet. It'd have to be a TTS thing, at best.
Yeah, because one person is playing out of Busan from the Korean chat, and he's playing in the Jeongju pod, and then Tom is playing from Busan as well, but he's
in the TTS pod.
He's in the TTS pod.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Everything's all set up. So, hold on.
Welcome, Darth Blue. Thank you. Yeah. Sisters players represent. I'm going to take a guess that's Tom.
Maybe. Oh, wow. We got 20 people in the chat.
Yeah. We marched from a crag. Oh, my Lord. No.
Okay.
Crag. Solid go.
Right.
Solid go, boy. Hey.
Okay. I added Anthony real quick. I fixed the formulas again for the Excel, so it should auto-populate once I populate everything. So, okay. Nick, if you can verify it. All right. I'm going to randomize the names on the bottom 3 times.
Oh, I see. Okay. Go ahead.
Cool. So, first one, second one, and third one. That's randomized.
And of course, as foretold, Remy ends up on top. It is only fitting.
See.
Well, no, he ends up in the first slot. It is only fitting.
And like I said before, top down. So this is going to be pod 1 or sub pod 1. And I'll use only.
All right.
And then
pod 1.
Copy. And paste values only.
I'll give you guys a quick look at the matches here.
Whoa. Oh, it's because I put Anthony's name. Forgetful. I'll update that later.
Yeah, if you have a blank space, that's Anthony. Oh, it updated.
Yep.
So there you
it's
go.
Just because of just how my Excel formulas work. It looks for a first name and a last name, and only populates the first name.
Okay. Here, let's Oh, my mic's pretty low. Okay, give me a sec. Whoops. Not what I wanted to do there.
He disappeared into the void.
Yes, I went back to the warp for a second. Slanesh had to talk to me. Yeah, hold on. Let me grab my.
Okay. Since it seems that my mic doesn't seem too low, I'll go over who's in the sub pods for
is
pod
that better
for right now.
I think that fixed it.
Okay. Okay, you're good.
Yeah, I just upped the gain on it, so it's picking me up a little bit. It's picking me up a little bit better. Okay. Cool. Yeah, so I'll just run this over real quick. So in pod 1, I get to have some.
You might
moments
want to
shine
scroll
here.
all the way to the left.
Yeah. We got Remy, JJ, Christoph, Rachel, John, and Mike. So that is Black Templar Auxiliary Forces, also known as the Tau. We have JJ we have JJ right here on his Adepta Sororitas. He was in my pod last term. Definitely don't sleep on it. I like it. We have Christoph on the Cronny Boys, brother. Rachel playing the glorious Sons of the Angel. Love it. Big fan. John playing the Blueberries. Great. Mike, you're playing the Grey Knights. As a demon player, I hate you, but respectable choice. Anthony Forgetful, you're playing the Dusty Boys, who hate Magnus. I know your whole lore. Hopefully your T-Sons actually fit in the buildings this time. Rock, you're playing Luke's list. Kim Jin Yop, you're playing the Custodes, Golden Boys. Lee Sekwon, you're on. I hope I got that right. I'm so sorry if I didn't. You're playing the Cronny Boys. I love it. And we have Luke on his totally Nurgle Custodes. And Betty on the Astra Militarum. Brave man. Brave man indeed.
That is the Imperial Guard for all you old school players.
Yes, that is the superior way to refer to them. All right, you want to jump to the next pod, and then we'll come back around?
Okay, so we'll go to pod 2.
Okay, this is Segmentum Ultima. This is Pyeongtaek, unfortunately, as you can see. We only have 4 players, but, yeah, poor Bryant. Poor Bryant.
Yeah. So, in regards to this pod, it is going to be randomized. The reason being, because it's a little bit interesting because with this pod, they have to play another player twice. So the randomization is actually going to determine who their opponent is going to be that they have to play twice. So there is actually a little bit of some intrigue on this one.
Right. Because I'm sorry, but if Bryant, we'll go over what, once we get what we have, we'll go over what could be really good and bad for people. So mix it up for us.
Yep. So with this one, I can actually just do it in the actual drawing here. So because we don't have to split into different pots. So randomize 1, randomize 2, and randomize 3. So
here we are.
Drew. Yep. So everything's all set. So Drew has to face Jareth twice. And then oh, I might have to fix this again.
Bryant has to play. Jareth has to play Bryant. Oh wow.
No, I screwed this up. So
okay.
I have to fix this again.
Okay.
But essentially, I had it so that their first name should be there. But don't worry, I can fix this. Essentially, Drew, you're going to be facing Jareth twice, and then Bryant is supposed to be facing Demetrius twice.
Please don't, sir. Adam said he's like, I can fuck with the stream right now. I know, because I gave you access to the account, but please don't, sir.
Yeah. So
Spaghetti
I'll fix this
bird.
in post on my part. That's my bad.
Mount Kim 9811.
But yeah, so essentially, Drew and Jareth will face each other twice, and then Bryant and Demetrius will face twice.
Mount Kim, who is that? Is that? I don't know how many Kims I know. Huh. Anyways.
Okay.
All right, you want to jump over then to pod, the next pod?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm just updating some stuff real quick.
All right, so here is the dominant pod. We currently hold the league crown. You know, new game. Nick guesses everyone in chat. I know a bunch of you. I do know a bunch of you. Oh, Remy, shush. Unfortunately, I think the most disappointing thing here is there is a distinct lack of demons and Tyranids from the past few seasons. There's a distinct lack of those in here. But, you know, it happens.
It is what it is.
People get nerfed. People get salty. People get a new book. I'm not the third one. I'm the first two.
Okay. All right. So pod 3, not very interesting. I'm going to go ahead and just randomize this 3 times because there's only 5 people in the pod.
I'm interested.
I'm only doing this just as for the purposes of randomization. Okay, so pod 3. Myself, I will be playing Sisters.
Yeah.
Sue, Hun, Lee will be playing Gene Stealer Cult.
I'd like a margarita with my salt, not chips. Thank you. I'd like a margarita.
Nicholas Westerfeld will be playing Necrons.
Connie boys.
Bill Davis will be playing Orcs. And rounding it out is newcomer Sean Flynn, who will be playing Necrons as well.
Of course, Sue and I got each other again.
This is a 5-man pod. Everybody's playing each other once.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Come on, man.
Come on. I work hard. I'm tired. Dark Horse Sean.
Too.
Bet's already going down on Sean. Remy's roasting me. So, nothing new. All right. Next pod is the Segmentum Tempest. This is our Chongu pod, right?
Chongu, yeah. Chongu.
Yep, Chongu.
So, they do have 6 people in this pod, so the randomization will actually mean something because based on this, they will not face one player.
Right.
Out of their pod. So, randomization again. So, randomize 1, randomize 2, and then randomize 3. Okay, we're good to go.
Okay, let's take a look at who we got. We have
Jongwon Park.
Jongwon Park. He is on his Tao Empire. Here are his opponents.
We have Joan Ook coming in with the Dark Angels.
Wasn't he? Didn't he make it to the playoffs last time? Didn't he win his pod?
I don't remember from the last league. I'll have to double check.
Yeah, I remember some Dark Angels got out. So there's your games. Lim, H&N Lim, brother, another Chaos Demon player. I think there's 3 of us in the country now. I have been alone for too long. There's his games. We have Seho Sao. We got more blueberries. Everybody loves more blueberries. Very good very high in antioxidants. Also, very high in plot armor. Very, very high. Thanks, Matt Ward. Jin Hyuk Choi with his Crony Boys. And finally, we have Junghoon with the Imperial Knights. A very bold play. Not enough Ultramarines. There are plenty of Ultramarines.
Imperial Knights is strong, especially since
the what I call the Oops All Armigers list.
Oops All Armigers.
Yeah,
I had to play that. Remember that.
Kim Byung-wook. If you're here, I love that. That's one of my favorite all-time lists I have ever seen. I think actually, no, that's who Mount Kim is. I think that's who it is. I love that list. It is my favorite. We still talk about it to this day. I love that list.
What's the most played faction in the whole league?
Necrons are Sisters, I think.
I can actually look it up. Give me 1 sec.
Yeah. Oh, the Custard Boy. You're the Custard Boy. There's a lot of Custard Boys. Oh, Soul Custard Boy.
So in the current league right now, because I have all the responses, Necrons and Sisters are tied with 15.6%.
Man, I'm pretty
from
good
the current league. In the current league,
who needs calculators? You got me.
Yeah. So Necrons and Sisters, 15.6%, coming in essentially second, third place because Necrons and Sisters tied Cow with 12.5% coming in, and then fourth place, Gene Stealer Cult, 9.4%.
Very nice. How many Ultramarine players are there? Someone was asking.
Ultramarines. Believe there is two Ultramarine players.
That's too many.
Hey, I'm an Ultramarine player too, but just not right now.
You're Heresy Ultramarines. You're the cool ones.
All right. So,
before Matt Ward happened.
All right. Just for necessity's sake, I will be randomizing the last pod, which is the brand new pod that we have introduced
Once
by
again,
popular demand.
The Dusty Harem. The Dusty Harem.
I labeled it the Warp because y'all playing on TTS.
That's fair.
So, again, there's 5 people in this pod, so that means everybody's playing each other once. I'm just randomizing it because of principle. So, randomization, 1, 2, and 3. There's your pod.
We got Eric on his GSC. We got Mike on the T-Suns again. I played them last league. They were fun. His Magnus was a pain. We got Frank on the Sisters, James on the Sisters, and Tom on the Sisters. So, you want to run this back, and we'll go over all the pods. We'll take a dive into the pods.
Yeah, we'll take a dive into the pods. So just let me know when you're on pod 1.
Yeah, we're on pod 1 now. So, first thing I really want to talk about is Remy. Is Remy forsaking the Black Templars? Never thought I'd see the day.
That is an interesting thing. I mean, I know Remy's been wanting to try something different for a long time already.
Right.
This is something that he's been talking about since last year.
At least, yeah.
So, and I know he wanted to get into Tau, especially since they announced a new codex, and it's a very different dynamic compared to like what he normally plays. Like Black Templar is a very close range army, wants to get in your face, short range firepower. I'm not too sure which style of Tau, because especially with the changes that they made to the codex, it's very interesting just because they can be aggressive and they can play defensive. They got really good short range shooting and some really strong long range shooting as well. So, and also from what I've seen so far, lots of line of sight ignoring against infantry.
Yeah, the smart missile systems.
And airburst.
Yep. Yeah, lots of missiles.
Airburst. Well, smart missile systems, I think it's line of sight. Oh, no. I'm thinking about in terms of ignoring cover.
Oh, yeah.
Airburst
smart missiles.
Not...
Both are no line of sight, but smart missiles ignore cover.
Yeah, innately. And then airburst, I think you need to have like a upgrade to be able to ignore cover.
Jun Kang, welcome to the stream. We just had him join up. Oh, Ju Kang. My bad. All right. Yeah, I'm really excited to see. I'm really excited to see the Grey Knights matchup. I know we've had missile systems may be smart, but the game design is dumb. True. Mike, Grey Knights, they're good, but I know they suffer to long-range firepower, especially things they can't see. But the Tau have no counter to Psychic. So it could be kind of interesting if they can survive the initial shooting phase and get in range and get up and close. The Knights do have a chance if they have that 4 Dread Knights. They can no longer run 5, but they can get 4 in there.
Yeah. And then you also have the Relic too, where if they target that one Dread Knight, like I think it's Grandmaster Dread Knight, he can essentially just redeploy right in your face.
Right. Yeah. You can shunt them. You can teleport them. Then we got John here with his Ultramarines. John's been showing a lot of good stuff with us recently, playing with the Warp Report team. He plays with us a lot.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to play John yet.
Unfortunately, he's running an 8th edition codex, which is going to hurt. It's going to hurt.
Well, the Ultramarine supplement is 8th edition, but Space Marine book is 9th edition. So, and Ultramarines is one of the better sub-factions just because of the tactical doctrine to be able to move and count as remaining stationary. So it does help with short-range firepower. He has some redeploy tricks. Again, I do play Ultramarines. You do have access to a lot of special characters: Gilliman, Calgar, Tigurius.
Yeah,
so
Big Tiggy.
He does have a lot of options.
Second most powerful Psyker in the Imperium.
I would beg to defer, but
yeah, but the lore doesn't. So fight me. Speaking of the most powerful psyker in the Imperium, unfortunately sucks on the tabletop. We got a member of my own crew, Rachel, on the Golden Boys, the true sons of the Angel, with brother Morton, the Ferrero pattern dreadnought that blew up and killed everything. Rachel's been showing some cool stuff. Might be able to do something against Tau, but we got to see what's going to be coming out of those new points changes to Blood Angels and Space Marines in general, with all the dreadnoughts and the chaplain going up, and if you look at but also the Death Company coming down. I think Death Company could be something that Tau have to worry about, because I don't care how advanced your weaponry is. 10 Thunderhammers in your deployment zone on turn 1 is 10 Thunderhammers in your deployment zone on turn 1.
It'd be interesting because, especially with upgrades to the Tau, like auxiliaries like Kroot and Vespit, they're actually decent screeners and can be pretty devastating in the short ranges too, as well. I watched the, Richard Siegler game against John Lennon when they were playing Tau versus Bloody Rose, and Kroot can put a hurt in close combat, from what I saw, and they're good screening units too as well.
Yeah, so there might be a way around it, but it's definitely something you got to watch for, because that Forlorn Fury 12-inch move, pre-game move, and then another 12-inch move, that's terrifying.
Yeah, 10 Kroot, 60 points.
That's crazy.
Really good screening units.
I think they'll get buffed to 7 points a model before too long, at least. But we'll see.
It depends, because I think crisis suits are going to probably be the more flavor of choice from what I've been seeing, at least.
And then we have our last one of this one. We have some baguette violence. Little Frenchman on Frenchman violence here. Brothers no longer. I'm sorry, dude. You play Custodes. You don't get 6-point units. You already have 60-point Terminators with 4 wounds and strength 6. But yeah, it's that one's gonna be good. It's Necrons. One of the things that I think can take crisis suits or broadsides will be on the hit list. Yeah. I think the Necrons will be interesting, because they're one of the few things that I think can just take a Tau shooting phase, because of their ability to just keep bringing back models with the reanimation protocols. It's like, oh, we killed 10 warriors. Great, that's 10 dice for me to roll. Higher chances. So I think that's going to hurt them, on top of things like Catan shards. I think those are going to be huge.
Yeah, Catan shards are still pretty scary against Tau, since again, Tau is really only effective in the shooting phase. I mean, they have some tricks here and there, but it's kind of a double-edged sword, because again, it's a lot of points into one model. If you play double Satan, maybe, but then you start losing board control.
Right.
I think Warrior Blobs might make a comeback, but we'll see. At least one big blob.
I think Warrior Blobs with the King is going to make a huge appearance, just because of that ability to perform an action and still fire at full strength. With the new like missions requiring a lot of action monkeys, the ability, I think, 2 turns in a row to just like, you could deploy 20 warriors behind somebody's line with Veil of Darkness, perform Rod, and then shoot them. So I think that's pretty big, is the fact that you can drop back there, perform Rod, or plant a bomb, depending on your mission, and then shoot them. With, 20 warriors, you pop your 2 stratagems, whatever you're looking at is gone.
Yeah. I actually really so the Silent King, I don't favor it against Tau, because Tau have really good anti-tank.
Too easy to hit.
But one unit that I actually would consider against Tau is Flayed Ones.
Yeah.
Garon, what's Rod?
Research and development. It's R&D. Yeah, he said the heart. You know what he did, asshole. You
Yeah,
know what he
it's
did.
R&D. Retrieve Nakamon data
Research
is a
and
new one,
development.
R&D.
It's research and development. I'm
Yeah.
not respecting this one. But you know, Tao's gonna give up a ton of points on Bring It Down now, because anything over 9 wounds counts as 10 points, or at least 2 points. And every suit, I think suits are vehicles.
Suits are infantry, sir.
Are they really?
Crisis suits and broadside suits. Any suit is infantry now. They're no longer vehicles. I don't think
Okay.
they were. I think they were just battle suits, but
They were just battle
they
suits.
now all have.
Oh, it's Riptides that got the update. Riptides and Storm Surge are now vehicles.
Okay. I haven't looked at the Tau Codex, but I know that people were saying that like broadsides and cover with like a 1-up save is actually pretty nice.
Yeah. The next one we have is the Sisters, the Adepta Sororitas.
JJ.
JJ. JJ. Last time I played him, he's a big fan of Meltas, but this is qualifies for all Sisters players. Is losing the double order. You know, just taking Bloody Rose plus your favorite faction.
Yeah, I was always old school, so I always ever ran one faction, no matter what. I wasn't a big fan of running double detachments of different factions. That was just me personally. Now it is actually part of the game. But, I mean, obviously you can still ally some other armies in, but you start losing your super faction buffs and stuff, so it's not really good to soup anymore.
There's some
unless you have like specific like strategy in place.
There's some specific Melta fans in here.
Yeah.
As a demon player, I would always be like, please, more Meltas. I don't have to save as many bullets.
Yeah. The biggest hits, I think, were done to actually Retributors.
The Cherub, yep.
So the Cherub went up 5 points. So now it is a 10-point Cherub. So you'll probably only ever see one. Because I am playing Sisters. This is stuff that I've been looking at. 2, Argent Shroud got the massive, nerf in terms of now they don't count as, it has been confirmed that you do not count as remaining stationary once you exit a transport.
Right. So popping out of those rhinos and unleashing hell.
Yeah, so hitting on 4s is not as great. And you don't get to advance and shoot. So your range limitation is there too as well. Mm-hmm. But I think Sisters are still a decent army. I don't think they're the best army, but in terms of units, availability, and stratagems.
Solid A tier army though. They're pretty good.
I think B tier.
High B tier then. I think they're at the top of B tier if we're going to put them down there. Because I think the thing is the army still allows a lot for player expression. So if you're a good Sister player, you will still do very well, which is why I put them in A tier. But because B tier for me is like gatekeepers. But if you're not, like, it's kind of like they'll be A tier if you're good. I can see B then. But like B or C tier if you just starting them. Because they do have a lot of finesse to them, more than you would expect with an army like this.
No, I know. I mean, I do play Bloody Rose, so you figure a very aggressive list. But it's actually a very finesse list because, again, it's a lot of glass cannon units.
Yeah, just as the chat was saying, high skill units, high skill army, but also a high skill floor. I think their gate of entry is higher than a lot of armies.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else do we have here?
But again, because of the league setup. Lists are never locked. You're just locked to your faction. So you can always experiment. You can always try different army builds, different sub-factions. So you play Bloody Rose one game, didn't like it, maybe I'll try Argent Shroud, switch to Sacred Rose. Like, it gives a lot of different
definitely
experimentations for people.
Plays into that the abilities of the individual players. Sisters plays even more into that now.
Yeah.
Let's see who he's got. He's got John with his Ultramarines. I like the matchup for the Ultramarines there. Just because they can, move and shoot. And those are T3 Sisters, so they're going to be wounding on 3s with those bolters.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, just don't advice to all the Ultramarine players. Don't let Gilliman get near the Canoness. He has been the like benchmark test for what that thing can kill. If you look at every
the
video,
Our Martyred Lady Canoness.
yes, our martyred lady smash Canoness. Gilliman is used as the kill benchmark for her. So just as a general rule, don't get close to it.
Don't get close.
Rachel with the Blood
Canoness
Angels
can put out mortal wounds like no business.
So I'd be scared of the Blood Angels as the sisters, even if you're Bloody Rose, because Blood Angels are just the Bloody Rose but superhuman. You're gonna need a lot of just baseline sisters unleashing a lot of bullets, because Death Company, Sanguinary Guard, and those three, if she bring them, those Redemptor Dreadnoughts are going to be absolute hell to deal with. And not to mention, I think I've shown you the Blood Angel Smash Captain Rachel and I came up with, where it has 6-inch gives OBSEC, 3-inch takes away OBSEC, -1 to hit, and messes up your day. Like, he's pretty rough.
Yeah. It'll be interesting just because, like, with a lot of the missions and stuff like that, too.
Right.
For anybody that is playing, because they do see Sororitas, Necrons, Blood Angels, Ultramarines, anybody that has 4 deploying units, be wary, because if you roll the mission where you cannot do any type of forward deploying, any type of pregame moves into no man's land, you're pretty much stuck.
Right. Do you remember which mission that is? You have my book, so.
Oh, anybody, just a small plug. Go to Office Depot. When you get your book, get it bound.
It saves lives. It saves lives.
Yeah. Also, they can do like a free little plastic cover to protect your books.
Justin went and took mine and got the fancy stuff. I can put a cup of coffee on my book now. I mean, I would anyways, but hey.
It's cheap too. I think it's like 3,000 won to do everything.
That's what you texted me. It was like 3,000 won. Yeah. Crazy cheap. While you're looking for that, Kristoff against the sisters, that could go either way. All comes down to, I think, the Office Depot in Korea. Don't send it to America. You'll never get it back. I think that one could go either way. But just, I think Necrons have a little more on the ease of execution. So I think it's harder to mess them up.
Yeah, I think Necron's got a good buff just because there's a lot of stuff that's core now. They did get a pretty significant amount of points drops.
It's up in the top of the chat, but I'll post it again for the new people. There's the link for the spreadsheet if you want to follow along with us. But yeah. Oh, yeah, they got huge buffs. Now, Sisters against Grey Knights. This one I like to see. Depends on how the Sisters can do with those Rhinos giving them -1 to cast, getting all those denies in. It's really gonna rely on Necron's got pity buff. They did. You know what? I would kill for a pity buff. I would actually kill for a pity buff. But it will depend on this one. How well you can position to try and deny Purifying Ritual as many times as humanly possible without getting within the danger zone of a Grandmaster or any Dread Knight.
This is one of the few games that if I was an Adeptus Sororitas sister, I would actually, because most of the time when you're choosing your sacred rites, you're choosing the ones that benefit like your style of play. So you got the exploding 6s to hit is an additional hit, the passion, or the one where they give like shooting buffs. This is one of the few times where I would actually forgo that one possibly and choose the one that might deny instead of on a 6, it's on a 5/6.
Yeah, that would be huge.
Yeah, and then the sisters also have access to that 1 CP stratagem to deny on a 4-up after they fail and deny.
Okay, next up we got the Necrons. They got Blood Angels. That one could go either way. I kind of like the Necrons just because of strength of Codex and the natural tendency to do well to be able to put out a lot of shots to kind of bog down the Blood Angels. Unfortunately, Dreadnoughts have blast weapons, and they can chew. It's one of the few things I've seen that can actually chew through a Necron horde in no time.
Mm-hmm.
Between Van Vet's Death Company with chain swords, not hammers, chain swords for this one, and the Sangard with the swords and axes, they can just rip through Necrons at a terrifying speed. So that one I think is up in the air. It comes down to Catans, I think, versus like Dreadnoughts and stuff.
It depends because I have a pretty good idea of what Christoph has in terms of like model selection and
Trigger
whatnot.
Ajashi has joined the heresy. I got to figure out why that's not showing up on above my screen on everything. I got to figure that out. But someone just joined and it's Trigger Ajashi. Why do I feel like that's that really sounds like Drew?
But like Necrons, like
Orc player.
even though they have like some decent short range shooting.
Oh, Trigger! It's Bill. It's Bill.
Orc player. Oh, it's the only orc, or one of the only orc players.
But it just says Trigger, and that's his username on Discord. I just realized that. Hi, Bill. You don't talk to me anymore, but hi. Still owe you. I still owe you lamb. I still owe you lamb. I haven't forgotten.
Yeah, I think Necrons, even though they have some decent short range shooting, they are more predominantly a close combat army in heart. So if he's bringing like Scorpec destroyers, those ones are actually be pretty decent against Blood Angels because he has that stratagem to offset your +1 to wound too, and they are tough 5s. So again, Necrons, it's whoever gets the jump on who and succeeds on getting the jump.
Yeah. That one could go either way. Let's see. What else does he have?
We
Michael
have a Discord.
With the
We do have a Discord, yes.
we have we have oh, you know what? No, we do have one. I just never use it. But yes,
Most people would just use 40K or just use the Kakao chat. Discord we have in case like people want to talk and stuff like that too.
I may kind of centralize one up for us. I'll figure that out. Let's see. Necrons against the Grey Knights. I like the Grey Knights. Mortal wounds. Psychic phase. It's the big killer, and the Grey Knights can put out enough firepower to bring down a Catan in one turn.
Yes, they can.
So I kind of that one just for strength of codex. So Zarakin or bust for that one. Yeah, you got to go Zarakin for that one.
That's actually because of how the league plays. That is a potential
that's totally viable,
that's viable because you can switch over to Zarakin because you already know who you're playing, so you can switch over to Zarakin and be like, yeah, mortal wounds. I have a 5-up shrug on all mortal wounds.
Yeah,
and because you can tailor lists, so you can experiment with lists and stuff like that too. Maybe take some Tomb Spiders and say deny some powers here and there against Grey Knights. As much as I would like to have denies in there, that's just way too many psychic powers to try to deny.
It's just not worth it. Just try to weather it. Don't try to deny it. And then we got the sisters. We just went over that, and we have the Baguette Violence. We went over that one too.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel, the Blood Angels. We got Christoph. Sisters. We've been over those. Blood Angels versus Ultramarines can go either way. Depends on how you use the cover. If the Blood Angels can get in, the Ultramarines will fold. If the Ultramarines can keep them out, the Blood Angels will fold. So it kind of all just comes down to that.
Okay. We do have a lot of people and armies to kind of get through.
Yeah, let's.
I know it is getting kind of late, so I figure for the next pods and the next sub pods and stuff like that too, I figure we can go over maybe game 1.
Okay.
The game 1 pairings and stuff like that too. Again, also, just for anybody that's in the chat, you don't have to play your games in the order that you see them. You can schedule them any time because the order is never gonna the people you're playing is never gonna change. So you can play your game 4 game first or your game 3 game first. It doesn't really matter. It's just up to your schedule.
Right. So the first one, Anthony Forgetful, the T-Sons. He's got the Astra Militarum. That one, that could actually go well for the Astra Militarum. if they take a lot of I think that if they go with a lot of the Manticores and Lemons. No, I was actually super happy when I saw the Astra Militarum because I remember you saying you weren't going to play them anymore, and I do enjoy seeing them. I like tanks. I think tanks are cool.
No, but I think this one I actually like again because I play T-Suns as well. So, um, depending on what he brings, T-Suns are kind of a slow army because they're most of their stuff is walking.
And it's a foot slog, and they're not fast. They're dusty boys.
They're not fast, so they're foot slogging it, and they are pretty up there. I mean, they're decent, but I would say above average in terms of cost per model, in terms of points. So,
I think you just got to outrange them. Just do your best to stay out of the range of those Scarab Occult Terminators, or try to bring them down quick. But yeah, it's gonna be. Benny just woke up and chose to play on hard mode. Let's be honest here. Yeah. He just woke up and chose to play on hard mode.
I think the new missions
with Demolishers
help him a lot. Yeah. But the new missions help out, I think, Astra Militarum a lot. Because you need a lot more utility units out there. Because, again, there was restrictions on how many models can do actions for certain things, how many models need to be in a certain area at a certain time. So, like, engage. You can't have less than 3 models.
Right.
One model units are not going to do it anymore. So, because Astra Militarum has a lot of cheap bodies, and he also has a lot of good long range firepower, like Retrieve Necromunda, he's just like what? That's
an auto 12.
2 squads in his thing, and then 2 squads that he puts in reserve. Like I think it's
and for engage, tanks count. We've seen the 9 Demolisher list. Tanks count.
So I think it'll come down to terrain, psychic powers and stuff like that too, shooting as well. But in my mind, I favor Astra Militarum against this.
Yep.
I don't know exactly what Anthony has in terms of his T-Suns.
He's got a lot of he can have whatever he wants. We know this. He can have whatever he wants.
Yeah, but Psychic is the danger. Psychic is very much the danger, but a lot of it is going to require line of sight. And again, you run your cheap units in the front and let them be your smite catchers, and then just protect and screen your tanks.
Do you know what we just forgot about? The new secondary AdMech has for killing something. That's good.
AdMech or Astra Militarum?
Or Astra Militarum. I saw AM and my brain said AdMech. The guard. I'm going to stop calling them Astra Militarum. They're guard.
The guard. Hold on.
It's time for Harry Potter and guns. Harry Potter and the what is it? Harry Potter and the Deathly Hollow Points.
What was it? Purge the enemy, Astra Militarum. Score 1 victory point at the end of the battle round for each enemy unit that was destroyed during the battle round by an Astra Militarum unit from your army to a maximum of 3 victory points per battle.
That might be rough against T-Suns just because they don't bring a ton of units, but I could see that having some play. We have Rock, who plays very well last time against Luke. I'm sorry, Rock, you're losing that one. Luke built your list. He knows it inside and out. He's got that 4 up and
Luke hasn't. How many games has Luke got under his belt with?
4 or 5. With the Custard Boys, I think he's gotten like 4 or 5. He's been playing a lot lately. But the thing is, I think this comes down to the strength of the Custodes right now. The nerfs to the Death Guard. And the buff to the PBC, but the fact that Luke knows this army in and out. I'm giving this one a bit of a player edge because Luke knows this army better than anyone I know. So that's going to make it really rough because anything that Rock wants to do, Luke is probably going to know what he's going to try. So that's going to be, I think, rough for Rock. He could throw some crazy things in there, but if the Custodes can get in, That's right. And you know the standard bearer, given dense cover to everything around him, that -1 to hit's that's gonna bite.
Yeah, Rock is like just like Luke. Like Luke knows the army inside and out. Rock is a pretty good death player as well.
Did I
definitely
play
saw that.
Custodes against the Demon Engines? Isn't this didn't you play Sungrock? Didn't you play him? We got updates on that. I'm just giving this one to the Custodes player because he knows Custodes, but he's the one that like built Rock's list and built the concept, so he just knows the concept of how the army works very, very well. So I think he'll dismantle it on that fundamental level of knowing knowing it super, super well. But he could surprise us. Also, Luke reads his codex. I don't know, man. We bought Rock one for Christmas. I bought Rock a codex for Christmas, so you better read it.
I do edge it out for Luke as well, but not by much.
Yeah, I think that's going to come down to...
I am basing it on the fact that Luke does not know his army that he's going to be playing as well as he knows the Death Card Codex.
Right. Yeah.
So there is a lot more chances for him to make mistakes on his units just because you don't know your codex that well. So, but we'll see.
Rock is LeVar Burton. Then we got the other Custer boys.
So,
against
Jinnikin?
the Krons. So I'm almost want to go Krons on this one. Couple reasons. Hear me out.
Okay.
And this is because 40K Korea. Who is this? Who is impersonating me? Who is
40K
40K Korea. Who is impersonating me? I do not appreciate this. Who are you? It's because of invuln saves. And he joined the heresy. Who are you? Was that my friend? I think that's my friend from back home messing with me because he knew I'd do that.
Okay.
But yeah, I think because invuln saves are not good against high volumes of firepower. If I would take Mefrit for this one. You get that extra, you put yourself in Protocol of the Storm, but you can also, or Protocol of the Hungry Void, or not Hungry Void, some storm. Anyways, Vengeful Stars. You can put yourself in Vengeful Stars and get like the extra AP to force them to that invuln, and you'll put in 40 plus plus mortals plus all this stuff of shooting. But if you go custom dynasty, yeah, they count as 2 OBSEC models. I have 50 warriors that do the same thing. Oh my god, it's Suhoon.
Really?
Come on, man, you're impersonating me now. I know I'm pretty great, but like, come on.
Okay.
Anyways, the one person I'm okay with taking the 40KOREA name. And then, so I kind of like that because a sheer volume of firepower, eventually you have to fail. Plus, the king is going to be really, really hard for them with the permanent fight last aura. The king is going to hurt.
True. Again, I'm not too familiar with the new Custodes, so I can't determine because I haven't seen any battle reports for it yet, and I really haven't delved too deep into like the book. I'm only familiar with the 8th edition one, and even then those guys hurt.
Yeah. They don't play too differently. They just got, right now they're really versatile. That's where the way they went with them. They're the Emperor's Chosen, super versatile. They're Custodes Death Watch is the way I always put them. Next up, we got the Krons against the Custodes. We just talked about that. We got Custodes against Rock. We already talked about that. And then the Astra Militarum, brave man. You have my respect for this one. Are you making an impression of me? I don't know. How do I make an impression of Remy? Do I just... Heretic. You heretic. There we go. There's my Remy impression.
Urge
I
the
could do
heretic.
I could do a thicker French accent, but I value my shoulder where my neck where it's attached to my shoulders right here. I like that. Just scream loudly. Yeah, sounds about right.
All right, so let's move on to pod 2.
Yeah, pod 2. This is where? So yeah, here we go. Tao. So there's only one thing I want to say about it. So I think D has a good sense on this one because Bryant is playing CSM. And then you have he's until he gets a new codex, he's kind of dead in the water right now with the Black Legion. They might do okay into the Gene Stealers. I don't know, but at one wound, they're now everyone's just roasting Remy in the chat. Hadik. Yeah, so but Demetrius goes through armies faster than a fat kid goes through chocolate bars. Let's be honest here. He literally just texted us. Hey, he texted us like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Hey, my Grey Knights are all done. Texted us today. Hey, my Grey Knights are for sale. So if anyone's interested in Grey Knights, to hit up D in the chat. He's selling his knights. They're very well painted, actually. They're very pretty. So they're definitely worth whatever he charges for them. All very cool. But yeah, so I think I want to give this one to D because his ability to adapt to armies, I think, quicker than anyone else in the pod. Because Bryant is playing the CSM. He's struggling into 3 brand new codexes. He's going to struggle. There might be some obliterator shenanigans in there. He might be able to pull something off, but I got to talk to him. I got to see what he's doing. Drew and D. D is just better at adapting to a new list, but Drew may surprise us. This may, go better for him than his Blood Angels style, which he always tried to play shooty. So I think this one's going to come down between Drew and D, personally.
I think it's going to come between Drew and D. Yeah, it's interesting because, I know Tao has a lot of good shooting. Gene Stealer Cult, they just have a lot of bodies, but they also have a lot of tricks.
Right. Which, if you're not familiar with them, you're going to
Space Marines are kind of in a hard spot right now, too. So, but, yeah, I think in terms of the pod itself, I think Demetrius, has the edge in terms of adaptability, in terms of just getting the reps in, because I know he gets a lot of games in.
Because he's the host, so he gets to play 2-3 games a weekend. So I think that'll be a huge boon to him. He's already been getting some Tau games in.
Yeah.
So.
I know Jareth used to play, or Jareth played Death Guard the last time that we
he plays CSM, pick your flavor chaos. Knights, CSM, Death Guard.
So it'll be interesting to see.
Jareth could surprise us. I could be wrong.
Jareth could surprise us. But again, I'm going off of what I know. And
I'm taking D in this pod.
I think D's going to take it, and I think Drew might come in second, just because, what you said before, he plays his Blood Angels like a shooting army, so he might be playing an army that's more his style to play.
Suhoon's here supporting the Four-Armed Emperor, and that's okay, Suhoon. Arrow's entitled to their own opinions, no matter how wrong they may be.
We're getting to our pod, don't worry. Calm down.
Let's jump over to it then. Here we go. Right. The Champions pod. So we got you on your sisters. I have played those a lot, and your natural playstyle didn't get affected. Did not get affected by the nerfs to only taking one order. You didn't get touched by that.
No, because I always choose one order. So, and that's kind of how it was.
I lost to him. I did contribute. I contributed.
In terms of sisters, again, sisters is I don't have as many reps. If people don't know, I am a Necron player predominantly. I just have Space Marines because that was my first army. So everybody has a Space Marine army at some point. Says the man with
3 Space Marine armies.
Hey, some of them are for 30K.
I have a 30K army.
Sisters is kind of a very different beast to kind of deal with. My Necron army was a close combat army, and my sister's army is a close combat army too. But it's a different style of close combat. One was above
Durable.
average damage, but very resilient. This one is, they can hurt, but they die
Pop.
to a stiff breeze.
Yeah, they pop super easily.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got Suhoon, our reigning champion, on GSC. I'm going to say the same thing I said about Jareth. It's a new codex. This is going to be tough, depending on how many games Suhoon can get in between his league games. I think is going to play a big factor into this. Or, who he gets first. Because, no offense to Sean here, but Sean owns a Indomitus box's worth of Necrons right now. He's borrowing my stuff. If you get Sean, that's a good rep game. Because it'll let him work out the kinks and the bugs in it. Bugs. Sorry. But he'll be able to work out, kind of the hiccups before he gets to things that are going to be tougher for him, like Necrons or you. He'll work out things that'll be tougher for him. Depends on who he chooses to play first. Depends on how many games he can get in. But I think he can still do well because Suhoon does adapt very, very quickly.
He does adapt very quickly, and he's a very good table general. So, I mean...
If I fail my charges, I lost the game. You can't think like that. That's my job. Stop taking my gimmick.
Yeah. But, everybody knows, the two people, out of Korea and stuff like that, too, I think that are... especially if you're taking a look at our ITC rankings and stuff like that, too, there's two people that I hold most in terms of making the least amount of mistakes in a game. Suhoon being one of them, and then Remy being the other guy. They make very minimal mistakes, even when they're learning stuff, and usually that's what it comes down to, is making the fewest mistakes in a game.
I think
you can take advantage of stuff and be on the thing, but if you start making a lot of mistakes, then it can just go downhill. So
I think a big thing here for Suhoon is also going to be not making mistakes, but taking advantage of things. It's not as much making a mistake as missed opportunities. I think is what's going. If he loses, that's what's going to kill him. Is he's going to miss something. He's going to forget an ability. He's going to forget. He's going to misplace a unit. I think it's going to come down to those. Maybe misplacing units, or he fails a charge and I turn around with 20 warriors and scrap whatever was behind me, scrap the truck. Yeah. Or you manage to get behind him with some repentia and they just start ripping through his lines. Yeah. I think it'll be more missed opportunities than misplays.
All right, so next up is you, sir, with Necrons.
Yep. For those of you that don't know, this is not a new army to me. They're actually my first army. I played them in 7th. Everyone is just used to my Chaos Demons.
He actually had them shipped over from the U.S.
I did.
Here in Korea.
Shout out to
He asked his mom to ship it.
Thanks, Mom. I love you.
Thank you, Mrs. Westerfeld.
Close enough. Yes, the obligatory fuck your demons in the chat. So I think one thing that it's going to help me with Necrons is, I'm used to dealing with a lot of small bodies and a lot of dice. But it's, having access to secondaries, stratagems, CP. I'm starting with more than 2 CP this time. You know how wonderful that feels? I'm starting literally with, I'm using every CP I can for heirlooms and warlord traits and still starting with 12 CP. Feels amazing. Shout out. I did. Didn't I? D, I did say that. I think Justin talked over me. I said shout out to D for his APO box. I did say that.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I think Justin talked over me because I did say it. You were amazing. Yes. You should stay away from schools, Nick. Playing with a lot of small bodies isn't good. You can't say that, dude. I'm a teacher. Yeah, it's the also though. You know, maybe not to the level of Remy and Suhoon, but I have had to learn how to not make a lot of mistakes. Because a mistake equaled, 10% of your army or 12% of your army off the table in one hit. So,
yeah. And to your credit, you do play against Sue and me a lot.
With arguably, I put us just above Astra Militarum in the Imp Guard, but and put him down with CSM, Imp Guard, and all them. I play Chaos Demons. Like, I don't soup. I play, count them, 1, 2, 3 Keepers of Secrets. But I got nerfed recently, so I'm like, I was getting a little tired of playing. I was noticing I wasn't enjoying Demons as much anymore, so I'm like, let's go back in. Let's slip on, an old pair of gloves. But the one I'm definitely afraid of is your sisters the most. Because you know my army better than I do. You're the only person I think who I can confidently say can dismantle my army because you know what I built better than I do.
I also help you build whatever you're...
Exactly.
You send me a list like, hey, check this out. I'm like, take this out, move this. Why do you take this? Add this in. Okay, that's a good choice.
Yeah. And I've been we've had to, I'm always triggered, by the way. We had to, it gets fewer and fewer, but I like, other than that, like, orcs could be a problem, but I stand up, so that's going to be really annoying for them to chew through. Sean, I created this. Same reason I'm scared for you. I'm scared for Sean. I'm scared of you. Sean should be scared. I created this. And also, may or may not rescind some models. Hey, do you have a Silent King? No, I'm using him. Where's mine? Don't have one. Go buy one. But, yeah. Bill, Bill, I think, is going to have the biggest advantage here of he knows his army better than we know ours.
That's true. Most of us... Bill is the only one here that has the most reps with the current army that he's playing in the pod.
And let's be honest, he doesn't have a clock, so his biggest enemy is gone. If we put in a clock, Bill goes 0-4.
Bill saying, laugh out loud. No, I don't. Thanks, though.
No,
Bill, you do have more reps than we do. So you probably know your codex better than we know our current ones right now.
Yeah, Bill, you got to realize I've barely played. I've gotten probably about 7 or 8 games in all my crons, but nothing like the sheer absurdity I'm trying to run. Because I have like maybe 100 of my 130 crons stripped and repainted. And ready to go. So we'll have to work on that. But
yeah, and orcs still have access to a lot of good units. I mean, I know they took some nerfs here and there. The flyer nerf, the buggy nerf, points changes and stuff like that too. But I think there's still a lot of decent units. Wagons.
I think those wagons roll in with a bunch of flash kits.
Like one squad of buggies, like the dragsters and like all those other things. Like all the other buggies are still good. It's just it's not to the levels of absurdity as it was before.
The Evil Sons. Yes, that is still good. The Speedwa Army of Renown from the Evil Sons. That one's still good. Yes, that's still strong because it allows them to give their buggies OBSEC, which is insane.
Is it buggies or the bikes? I think
it's the bikes. It's the bikes. But yeah, a lot of bikes and then a lot of buggies behind them. The Speedwa is still a viable thing for sure. Sean, I think he could show something because he has you and I kind of like guiding him. So he may surprise us. He may pull something crazy. And he has access to 2 people's armies worth of Necrons. So
and access to 2 people's knowledge worth of Necrons.
Right. He has access to
well, I'm not playing Necrons in this league, so like Sean, if you're watching, ask me for any questions. I'll help you out.
Yep. We got our Cronny Boy chat too, so we can always help you out.
Yep.
Pod 4. Unfortunately, I'm not super familiar with any of the players here, so I'm just gonna go off of what I know. Tau. Tau versus the first one is the Imperial Knights.
Ooh,
Who
that is an interesting one.
How many railguns you bringing? If you bring a bunch of, which this is, I think, the one matchup where you can say bring a ton of railguns, because you can get through those ion shields and just blow a Castellan off the board because they can't hide. So I'm giving this one to Tau because, how many railguns? Yes. If it can bring 3 Storm Surges, bring 3 Hammerheads, bring 3 Riptides, I don't even know if they can take a railgun. Blow them off the board. But that goes to the other side, is if he brings a bunch of Shooty Knights or a bunch of Armigers, could be a rough time. But if he goes the traditional 6, 7, 8 models, I think Knights are going to have a bad time. But if he goes all Armigers, Knights might be with House Tyrannus for what I call lol you thought, and keeps reviving the Knights. House Tyrannus might be the way to go for this, to force you to sink a bunch of shots into something like Castellan, and then 3 CP, you revive it on a 4-up.
Yeah.
And then the next turn, you spend 2 CP to make it function at full bracket and blow every railgun off the table.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about the Hammerhead in this matchup. It really depends on what the Knight player brings too, right?
Are the lists set for
Hammerhead?
the whole thing? Real quick, I want to answer this. 6-up, feel no pain for Knights. That's still gonna, that might not be enough though. Quick question. The lists are not set. No, only your faction is locked. It has to be at least 50,001 points. Your original faction, but lists are tailored to each player. Sorry, go ahead.
Not tailored.
You can tailor to each matchup.
Yeah.
They're built before the match. He might want to spam Armigers. That's what we're saying. Yeah, I might want to spam Armigers.
Yeah. I'm not too sure about the the Hammerheads, because once the Hammerhead's out there, if he misses, because it's only a 1 shot, like that big super railgun, it's only 1 shot. So if he misses and doesn't wound, like even with rerolls and stuff like that too, or
they don't really have much else to offer.
No, and once he shoots, he's not going to be there
right
in the next turn, because he's on a very fragile model. So
Riptide, Broadside, Crisis Spam might be the way to go here.
I think Broadsides, because Broadside's sitting in terrain with a 1-up save, and then you got shield drones, and you got whatever you need to do.
Ghost Keels, because Knights don't want to get that close. Well, it prevents them from being shot at, which can be huge. I think 1 or 2 Ghost Keels might do something here. Just because of the stealth drones.
Possibly.
I think those it'll make it annoying. Let's go over to the Dark Angels. Their first matchup is the Necrons. I'm taking Necrons on this one for the same reason I take them against the Custodes. You got to fail an invuln eventually.
I actually give it to the Dark Angels.
Why is that?
If he goes full Deathwing, he can kill you faster than you can kill him.
I'm giving it because of Catans. And they don't really have a reliable way with Deathwing. I don't think there's a super reliable way to deal with Catans or the King.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, you're slow, I'm slow, so I'm going to play the waiting game. And he can do it a lot better. And the biggest thing is that with Dark Angels, they have access to that one secondary where it's just, I choose an objective during my command phase, and as long as I sit on it, I'm getting 15 points. I take to the last with 40 Deathwing Terminators. You don't know which one's my to the last ones, and I just keep those away from everything. That's 15 points right there. That's already 30 points. Almost guaranteed.
PC King, welcome. Glad to have you. The Knight player, Junghan. I hope I'm getting your name right, man. Junghan, he's in the chat.
Oh, hi.
Yeah.
Welcome.
I expect the new Tao's power. Yeah, we just were. I think they probably said we were talking about you. Yeah.
Armigers. We're saying
Armigers.
All armigers.
Oops. All armigers. House Tyrannus. Be a pain. I think armigers is the way to go here. You take too many big knights. You just give them an easy target. I think armigers is the way to go here.
All the mini knights, and then you take that one close combat weapon that's like 3 damage, and you just run him in his face and just start smashing crisis suits left and right.
Yep, I'm all for that. Hi, I forced armigers. Wait, is this hold on. No, is this the guy who was the 14 armigers in the Pyeongtaek? Is that who you are? Oh no, I think that's who it is. Oh no. We once again love the list. We were talking about it earlier too.
That list is amazing.
Oops, all armigers. Okay, it wasn't him. Okay. I'm always wondering if I see it show up because I can't remember. I saw him once. I can't remember his username on here for the life of me. But I've seen him in here before. But yeah, he ran 14 armigers, and actually, the only reason he placed low is because he ran into the first and second place person, so he ended up losing 2 games to them. But both games they were like within a couple of points.
Yeah.
So
I think it was just look at the draw and stuff like that too, and then it really depends on like the matchup and the mission and things like that too. So, but he did have a good like showing. So even when I played him and stuff like that too, I just think that the knights going into like my double Satan and Canoptic list was a little too much.
Yeah. And then we have do you call this a chainsword? No, this is a chainsword. Pulls out a chain cleaver. Now next we have my brother in arms, the Chaos
HN
Demon. Lim. Who's he got first? So okay, he's actually got a really good chance on this one.
Ultramarines.
Because the Ultramarines want to move up to shoot, right? They want to take advantage of that move and shoot. The last thing you want to do against demons is move. The last thing you want to do, the problem is to get those 24-inch bolters in range, he's got to be in range of Slaanesh units. And the Slaanesh units are I think are going to be the bane because he can close a distance faster than you can shoot him. I don't think the Ultramarines have the firepower, being a specialist, being an elite army, to take down enough greater demons or even enough little demons, because demons are elite hunters as an army. Speaking as like a demon player, they're elite hunters as an army. So I really don't think they're going to. I don't think they're going to fare well. Space Marines is normally a really good matchup for demons. If you can play it right, normally you can roll through some Space Marines.
I think it comes down to like, because I know demons pretty well because I've played you a lot, and I've also, but it also depends on what the Lim has access to.
Right.
I'm assuming he has Be'lakor because I think every demon player wanted a Be'lakor.
Every Chaos player has Be'lakor.
Yeah.
If he has access to 3 Keepers and Be'lakor, I think that the Ultramarines are in trouble. Psychic ability to ignore Invul, I think they do, but good luck getting it off. Because
it's really close.
If that was a thing, I'd throw the chicken in here. I'd sacrifice a unit somewhere. I'd throw the chicken back in, and I'd put. I would personally either put the 5-up Feel No Pain, but I might even go up for the 6-up. But I might. Oh, that's Null Zone. 6-inch aura. Oh Lord! If you're trying to pop an invuln at that distance, I'm sorry, hon, it's over. If you're trying to pop an invuln at 6 inches, the demons have already gotten you, my friend. Because they can close from a much larger distance. But the big thing is, I would put the chicken in here, and I might even give him Spell Thief to deny that power and steal it away, just to make sure Tigurius doesn't get it.
Tigurius will get it off.
Not against to get it off. I wouldn't like his odds against the chicken. the list I've been running recently runs a chicken and some fiends, which gives you a -1 to cast and me a +2 to cast. So it's an effective +3 to me over you. And if I take that, you don't get it for the rest of the game. So I think that you would be super limited because it'd be super risky to put it off if you're anywhere near that Lord of Change. And if he's sitting there with his -1 to damage, 3 up and Vuln in the middle of the field, I just don't see you getting that power off. Or either that, you're going to have to risk just completely losing it. And then Tigurius is dead.
I don't know, because like I said, I
cast,
think it
it's
really depends on...
Remy, it's to both. +2 to cast and deny.
Yeah. I think with Ultramarines and the Chaos Demons, so I think it really depends, like I said, it depends on what the Chaos Demons have. And then the Ultramarines, it depends on what he's taking. Because I know Ultramarines is a very good, like, castle shooting army. Like, you stick all your buff characters in there, and then you just get rerolls to hits and wounds and just shoot like nobody's business. It's a moving castle.
Right.
So, and I know demons are predominantly a more close combat-y army, and Ultramarines having access to the old school greater good stratagem of I can choose 3 units to overwatch. I have another unit to overwatch. So that's like 4 units of overwatching. So again, Ultramarines is a shooting army. They don't do close combat.
Demons are really good into castle. If you castle, demons are extremely good because, well, for one, like, okay, you can overwatch me with 3 people. If I'm throwing Bellicor at your face, you're wounding me on 6s. And you can't reroll any of your hits, so that shuts down a lot of your buffed characters. Or character buffs. You can't reroll those. But the big thing is, the Lord of Change. I had someone castle against me. I put out 24 mortal wounds with all my demons together. I put out 24 mortal wounds in a turn. If you clump, demons love it. Because you can get Bellicor up close, you can get a Keeper up close, pop Phantasmagoria and Cacophonic Choir. And I'm rolling against your leadership, which is now a 7. If you're an Ultramarine, like at best your leadership's a 7. It's probably down to almost a 6 at this point. And I roll 2 dice. If I can roll higher than a 6, you start taking mortals. The chicken, I hit something, everything within 3 inches of that model is taking mortals. So it's the sheer amount of mortal wounds that a demon army can put out, I think is going to be their downfall. And Primarch versus Bellicor, I'm taking the big demon boy. Even if Gilliman charges first, I'm taking the demon boy. So we'll see. But yeah, that could go either way. But my money, if he has access to the right models and is able to play it right, I put my money on demons. But demons could just very easily lose that matchup too, just by the fact that they are demons. They could easily lose it too. And we talked about the other 3. Ultramarines versus the Chaos Demons. The Krons versus the Dark Angels. And the Imperial Knights versus the Tau. Once again, if you take a bunch of Armigers, I think you're okay. So...
if you don't have an all-Armiger army, just take as many as you can.
Yeah. Oops, all Armigers. House Tyrannus, I think, is going to be your biggest help, though. House Tyrannus. All right, next one. So, the Dusty Harem. I'm still calling it that. I personally...
You don't get to name the pods, buddy.
Fine, I'll name it myself. I'm calling it the Dusty Harem.
All right, I'm not giving you admin privileges then.
I will not change it. But Mike, I give this one to him on a couple of reasons. Experience. And the fact that Thousand Suns. Because as we said, Sororitas and Gene Stealers are at the mercy of their pilots. They can be an A-tier army, they can be a C-tier army. They're at the mercy of their pilots. So I like the odds of Mike taking this one. Personally, 3 sisters. That's why I'm calling it.
Yes, it's 3 sisters.
It's 3 sisters.
I saw this.
I heard it. That's why I'm calling it the. So I'm calling it the Dusty Harem because it's 3 sisters and the Thousand Sons.
I don't know. I I'm playing the odds on this one. I won't say who's going to win it, but I will put my money that a Sisters is going to take this pod.
That's a cheap cop out, and you know it.
I know.
I'm taking the long shot. I believe in the Canadian. I believe in. I personally would choose to believe in Mike. Just because he knows his army better. He's played more competitive games. He's been able to give me a run for my money in the past, so I personally like to give this to him. Because I think the most experienced player there is James. So that would be
Sisters players.
Yeah, James. He's out of most experienced out of the Sisters. I'd put James. If Mike doesn't take it, James is taking it. It's going to come down to the matchup between those two. All right, catch you later, Adam. I have no money. Yeah, I'm a teacher. I spend it all on Warhammer, man. It's called diversified assets. It's smart.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to come down between Mike or James. I think it'll come down to their match. I really like those two. Gene Stealers, I think, are just too much at the mercy of their player, but Eric could surprise us.
Yeah. I know out of everybody here, Eric, Frank, and Tom are new to the league. So this will be interesting. And also, this is the tabletop simulator too. And of the players, I know Mike is the most experienced tabletop simulator.
Yes, and James is right behind him because he was in the same crusade with us.
Yeah.
So
we'll
see. Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, dice can play a factor. I know Remy's in the chat, and we know we don't like to say dice, but it is a dice game. So
catch you later, D.
You can roll hot. You can roll cold.
Yeah.
It kind of depends. But yeah, I do give the edge to Mike in winning this pod. I think James takes it as a close second. And I know, I think out of everybody here too, I think most of the guys are either new or haven't played in a while. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah. Right. Remy says dice or dice, but you build to mitigate the variance. And I think you're right, but I think this matchup is going to be close enough that it might play a factor. I think this matchup could be close enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it really is going to come down to between Mike and James in terms of just Mike's experience. He's been running Thousand Suns for a very long time. I played James just recently, right before he's going to be heading back. And he's gotten pretty good with the Sisters.
Right. And he's getting fixed one of his biggest issues right now, which is model issues. Not having access to things. So on TTS, he's going to have access to all of his stuff, which I think is going to be huge. That could put him up top, is the fact that he'll have access to things like Morven. Or, he'll have access to more things than he normally would, like Repentia, or if he needs more Battle Sisters. Or more Rhinos. He has access to more models through TTS. But yeah, just a reminder to everyone how this works. This is a split. We're running a championship split style league. There's what's going to be this split. Yes, Bill, blame the dice. And what's going to be the kind of summer split. We have our spring, the summer, the winter, spring, the spring, summer. And then these every 6 months, I believe it is, Justin, is going to culminate in a championship, like a mid-season and a final season tournament.
Because of how the COVID pandemic is really screwing with everybody's gaming time, and because of the restrictions and things like that too, normally I would be trying to do it for every 6 months. But because of the COVID thing, I will be keeping tabs on who is placing first in each pod. It may come down to maybe just having one event in the year, or we'll see. Again, it is a casual league, so worst case scenario is that we may have to cancel it. Because if we get too many people and we're waiting too long, then the event is going to become its own GP. Yeah.
Yeah. And the big thing is, if you win your pod one split, if you win it 2 splits in a row, you give up your pod to the you give up your spot
Second highest rank.
to the person who was in second, or whoever had, like, I guess it might come down to like total points gained over 2 pods. Will come down to like who it goes to next.
It would go by so if you take a look, I don't know if you have it on the screen, but I will go over what the tiebreakers are, and that might be actually a good thing. So,
oh yeah, tiebreakers.
So we'd be following the tiebreaker rules. So when it comes to pod ranking and tiebreakers, your ranking and how it's determined is based on win, loss, and draw record. So if you have 4 wins, you're first place. 3 wins, 1, you'll be second, as is. If for some reason your pod has a tie between first and second place, your first tiebreaker is going to be based on total overall battle points for all games. So you want to score high.
Right.
Second is the total difference of battle points from all games. So it's determining how much you won by against your opponents. So if you win, you'll get positive points. So if like you had 90 points and your opponent had 60, that means you get 30 points. And then we would take a look at your second game, your third game, and your fourth game. If you lost the game, you would actually get negative points based on what the difference was. So if your opponent scored 90 and then you scored 60 and you lost that game, you would actually get negative 30 points.
Yeah. So you basically get the point differential. Whoever has the highest differential gets it. If by some miracle you are still tied, we're rolling a D20 and just calling it a day from there.
What's a D20? This is 40K. We only have D6s here, buddy.
Yeah, but I want to give more randomness. Spice it up a little.
We'll put it up to a vote. We'll see.
I vote D100.
Yeah, but yeah, if it does get to the third break tiebreaker, for some odd miracle, we're rolling a dice on it, and then again,
the Chaos Gods decide at that point.
Yeah, essentially, the dice roll off is what happens if you fight in a professional fight and you leave it to the judges.
Yeah. What do you think, Judge? Dice roll off. What? You cannot make me care enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, that will be pretty good overall. If you have any questions, Justin, Suhoon, or myself are in your pod. You can easily just talk to us. We can answer things. Anything we can't answer, we will confer. And yeah. I mean, Justin and I are on here, are talking quite a bit about the league, I think every day for the past week, getting this ready.
Yeah. So in terms of the league, so if you have any questions, I'm the head league commissioner for the league. My assistant commissioners are Suhan Lee, and Nick. Nick helping out with the expat community, and then Suhan helping out with the Korean community.
Yep.
Because we know there is some language barriers here and there. So
press Canadian for Korean and American for English. That's kind of how it's going. So how does one match fix in this? What do you mean? We had a question. In a raw, you mean? If you made too much in a pod, we give it to the next guy.
Yeah.
And that will be not only with the giving it to the second person. I believe we're going off of the total win-loss from both splits, correct? Like it'd be total win-loss and differential. It's for like determining who gets into the tournament.
Oh, who gets in the tournament? It's just based on the league
match
at that
fixing.
time.
You know, match fixing. You're a Broncos fan. Oh, come on, bruh. Yeah. Match fixing. Hey, if you gotta take kneecaps, you gotta take kneecaps. You know, I'm no shill, but $20 is $20. You know, a box of Rays is a box of Rays.
Don't break people's models. Don't even think about it.
No, not their models. Their kneecaps. Those heal.
How many points is a baseball? Come on now.
Actually, if you look at the rules, we can send this to you later. If you get a volcano cannon, I believe the crowbar for the kneecaps is actually included in the weapon profile.
Okay. All right. So logistics around. So the people that are on still. Current league start date is the 12th of February, so this coming Saturday. So if you want to start playing games,
Exploding sixes, am I right?
Yeah. Nick,
sorry,
it's okay. So again, this Saturday, you can start playing games if you want to. For people that know like who they're facing, you can try to schedule it. The last day to get your games in is Sunday, April 10th.
right here.
Yeah.
Oh, and if you're having issues, this is in here, but if someone is not showing, you can't get someone else to play, in your pod to play for you. You can contact one of the commissioners, either Suhoon, Justin, or myself. We can send you a ringer if it's an emergency. Odds are it's going to be me. Just because I can travel the easiest. Odds are you will get me. Whether or not you get Blood Angels, Demons, or Necrons, I'm going to leave that one up to a die. I'm literally going to roll for it.
Yeah. But preferably, if you can, obviously try to make your games as much as possible. But at the same time, if you need to play people...
The forfeit rules. 70-point forfeit.
Doing the 60 points.
No, if you can't if it forfeits, you call a ringer. We'll come down and play the game. And if the person forfeits and no one else in your pod will play you, call a ringer. We'll come in and play the game. We're not going to do the 70-point forfeit unless absolutely necessary. But I will, if you say, hey, I can't get a hold of my person, nobody else has time to play before it gets out, shoot me a text. Shoot Justin a text, shoot Suhoon a text. We'll work out a ringer for you. So the game will be played. There will be but the person obviously who did not play it takes an automatic 0 and a loss.
Yeah. But try to play people in your pod first. You can play people that you've played before. Obviously the person won't get points. Because as much as Nick is the traveling hobo in the group, going all the way down to everywhere and stuff like that too. He's only one person, so
I'm a cool
we'll
man.
try to find ringers.
What a man.
One exception is if you have people that is in your play group that's not part of the league, please check with us first. We can give permission for that too.
Right.
We just need to clear it with us beforehand. But
really, if it's
your first
anyone...
preference, first preference is people in your pod, and then if you can, maybe somebody in your local area, and then after that, you can probably contact us, and then we'll figure something out.
If you need another midnight run to the subway, let us know. I will. Dude, you somehow got me there without breaking traffic laws. I was amazed. I literally walked out of work and got to a train station in under 15 minutes. It's amazing. But yeah. So if you have any questions, let us know. But I think that's all. We went through all the matchups.
Yeah, we went through all the matchups. I don't think we have to worry about new codexes because the next new codexes is Eldar and Tyranids.
And we don't have
playing
any
that in the league.
Yeah, we don't have any.
So we're okay there. Terrain guidelines, just follow the core rulebook. How you set up the terrain is up to you. You can use the ITC player placement. You can use the GW Tournament GT.
You can mirror the table with boxes of soda and beer bottles and say, you good? As long as both players agree.
As long as both players agree to the terrain setup and how you guys have terrain, because I know people may have limited pieces of terrain depending on where you're playing. Just, again, it's a casual league. Have fun with it. And just make sure it's fair for everybody.
Yep. Don't be a jerk.
Yep.
All right. Thanks so much. Glad you guys enjoyed this. And we are now about 36 hours from the start of the league. So happy hunting, and may chaos guide your dice.
All right.